I think the guy that he's going to face and should face is Dominic Mysterio. You can already see that storyline coming in slow but sure, because if you want some, come get some. And Mysterio's answer was, if you want some, come get some.
I would say that probably John Cena. Of course, you have Brock Lesnar. That 2002 class actually was very impressive. That was probably one of the most impressive, if not arguably the most impressive class that came to the WWE in that year. You had John Cena, you had Brock Lesnar, you had Randy Orton, you had Batista, Shelton Benjamin. Like, you had that. That was that big Fab Four and Five as well, because I think Shelton Benjamin has done fantastic things. It's how John Cena was able, despite those people coming in with that class, to still stay in the fight and still shine and rise and be in his own lane. Orton has done the same thing. Batista's done the same thing. Shelton's done the same thing. Brock has done the same thing. What type of pressure was John Cena, from your observation, going through, trying to really create his own brand despite all of those people coming out of that year?
I think you have to understand, and you do understand, how the business works. When he slapped Kurt in the face and said, ruthless aggression, and that started the whole deal, you know, and I know that was almost the end of John Cena. Because there was nothing else. And then it was the wrapping on the bus. And from there, he took the character along with Vince and everybody else in that roster and worked very hard to produce the character, which was supposed to be a heel, but turned out to be a face. And you could see how the character, and I watched the evolution of how he started with this young guy that had tights and boots for every city he went to the George and started the rapping. And he worked and built and built and built. And I would see things coming in the mail, belts that were going to change and things like that. And he just kept building on the franchise to make it what it is today, the Doctor of Thugonomics. And I hope before this run is over, we get to see that character back in the ring.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to see your thoughts on the Saturday night's main event from our conversation right now. We ain't got much time left. We've got less than 2 months left. We've got about 6 weeks left in this John Cena storied career. We still haven't had any type of build going into another match. We've only got about 4 more dates left with John Cena. We've got some promos of the last Raw he's going to be on. But so far, I mean, we talked about this just recently, as far as just not really being satisfied with his build as his storied career, leading to a bunch of loose ends and unfinished business throughout this year. It seemed like right now there's no story that's going with Cena, and the guy's got about 6 weeks left. What's your thoughts on still WWE not really sinking their teeth in a good story to send him off yet?
I think there's one coming up. If I were writing and I'm not writing, I think the guy that he's going to face and should face is Dominic Mysterio. You can already see that storyline coming in slow but sure, because if you want some, come get some. And Mysterio's answer was, if you want some, come get some. So in Boston, I think that's going to come to a head. If I were writing that, Cena would be cutting a promo. There'd be an interruption by Dominic Mysterio. Maybe Mysterio lays him out in the ring. That sets the match up for Survivor Series. And hopefully at that match, if they're writing the end of the era, there's a Grand Slam, because it's the only title he hasn't had. So we've got a little storyline there. I don't think we should stop the storyline there. At the very last match in Washington, D.C., it should be Mysterio against Cena to get his belt back. That would close that chapter. The one thing I've seen with the WWE writing this tour is there's been a lot of storylines with no finishes.
Right.
No finishes. Take the heel turn. I still can't fathom why the hell the Brock Lesnar thing went the way it did. It made absolutely no sense in my book. I would have written it a different way, where Heyman shakes hands with Lesnar. They're buddies. He's pounding Cena. Cena gets the win back. Next thing you know, out comes Heyman with his two henchmen, right? Ronson and Breaker. They come out, and Lesnar smiles like, hey, my pals are here. They get in the ring. You look at Lesnar. They start pounding the living nuts out of him.
Yep.
And then Cena comes in and rescues. Now we got a tag match set up.
Yes.
We have another storyline.
Yep.
I have not seen that continuity, and I have to agree with you. No continuity. It's been match here, match there. How it's all going to end, I don't know. But I think the Mysterio thing holds promise, because they've already started or alluded to a match factor. If they follow through with that, and they give the rub to the person that needs the rub, and I'm not knocking anybody for that last match, I think that's the kid that should be in there getting it. I mean, I'd love to see Adam Copeland in there with John. That would be a great finish. Jericho is another guy that I could think that might be in there with Cena. But the way it's going, take the coin and throw it in the air and let's see which football team gets the first ball. Yeah, that's essentially where we're at now. Or we could have another tweet to see what the next match is. That's essentially where we're at now. I think John Cena deserved better, honestly. From a personal standpoint, this is the guy who's been the anchor of the WWE for 20 years, and I think that he announced almost a year and a half ago that he was going to retire. They had a year and a half to make this a thing, and he retired. He made an announcement 6 months before he even started coming back on television. In that 6 month period, they could have really been brewing. And of course, they might have some audibles, and that's what happens in pro wrestling. There's always audibles. There's injuries. There's there's people who negotiations. There's appearance issues. There's all different types of things that happen. But it just seems like they were really depending on The Rock's involvement, and it didn't happen. But you gotta do something. You gotta give us a strong plan B, and that strong plan B was definitely not Travis Scott appearing at WrestleMania. That was a very weak plan B, in my opinion. They'd have been better off to have me come down the ring and smash him to win that match. It probably would have. I'm not going, hey, throw the old man in the ring, but it probably would have been a better take, because we'd have blown The Rock off, and we'd have taken care of the issue that was there. I feel bad because look at Cody Rhodes and The Rock. That story still hasn't been finished.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they're dropping the ball in not only one area, but I think several areas.
Yeah.
But the finish, I don't know how this book is going to be closed. There's all kinds of rumors out there, and I certainly hope that the person they're talking about isn't going to be the last match.
Yeah. I just think that the last match should be he can cut a promo. He's saying, you know what, this is my last match. I want to retire champion. I want one more shot at that WWE championship. And Cody Rhodes has it. Cody Rhodes, John Cena at his last match. Match is back and forth. The fans are in it. All of a sudden, Rock comes out. Whoa, what's going on? John Cena's a babyface now. He's not with The Rock. Did they talk? Could John be turning again? Could this be a swerve? And all of a sudden, he does the gimmick. Cody, shot, to the nads, and boom, there you go. Cena goes off. Cody keeps the title. Cody's sold his soul to The Rock, and John Cena's retired. I think that would be a wonderful send-off for John Cena, a way to pay it forward in a very storyline way, because it's always good to give us a little bit of suspense of, I know John Cena said he's going to retire, but come on, you can't allow, and then he never comes back. So it always gives us that really cool what if, you know what I mean? So I think that would have been cool.
I would agree. I might write it different. I don't know. Too bad Seth Rollins is injured, because I would have loved to see Cena in his last match take the belt again for 18 times and walk out as the GOAT. But there's all kinds of scenarios here. It seems like you and I belong in the writing room.
I think so.
Yeah,
I definitely think so. Yeah. John Cena, and you know this. I mean, that's her son. He's a pay it forward kind of guy, and he's got he's had flack over the years as far as certain people that he didn't allow to pay, to go over. But he's a hardworking, hustle, loyalty, respect. You can tell that is a real thing for John Cena, and I think that the Cody Rhodes scenario, especially with Cody Rhodes turning heel, because it's time for a change with Cody Rhodes for sure. And I think that would really give us some really cool suspense. And so
it's got to happen. I have to agree with you because Cody needs that push. He deserves that push. Yeah. And I think what they did with the WrestleMania thing was the wrong way to handle it, because it should have been Cody embracing Cena after told The Rock to go, himself. Yep. He looks at The Rock, Cena smiles, embraces. The Rock doesn't even, that was a dumb gimmick. All The Rock had to do was, and Cody bashes Cena with the belt. That would have made so much sense because the storyline would have gone forward the way it should have. You wouldn't need The Rock. You wouldn't need Travis Scott because you had the two players already so the story could continue. And it went in the same way. But to me, that's what's missing in this whole thing.
Agreed. Especially, I think even from a standpoint of that could have happened at SummerSlam. Instead, we get a Brock Lesnar return that leads to Brock pummeling, Cena and just obliterating him at the WrestlePalooza, and no payoff to that either. So it doesn't make any sense. So that's a reason why I think we still need that Cody. We still need a bow in that thing, man. And Cody turning on The Rock would make sense, but. Like you said, we're flipping the coin and seeing where we land with this booking, man. But
I don't think you see The Rock back. I don't think you see The Rock back, Chris.
Doesn't look like it, man. It definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't appear to be so. And that's there's certain things that we look in the annals of pro wrestling. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. The Undertaker versus Sting, The Rock versus Shawn Michaels, and The Rock returning in 2025. But one thing we are going to have is I am sure, a very, very amazing send-off as far as the feeling and emotion that comes with John Cena. So speaking of John Cena, this guy right here, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a John Cena. Literally, we wouldn't have a John Cena Jr. because this guy's the father. So
I'm the OG, right?
That's right. That's right. We have John Cena Sr. I am Dr. Chris. This is an exclusive interview from Sportskeeda. Thank you so much. Have a good night. So long.